introduce you to a girl. Her name is Natalia. Natalia went on a coffee date with a man she thought was safe. While she was in the restroom, he drugged her coffee. She passed out and he threw her in his car. She was then smuggled into a different country, chained to a bed, raped and beaten repeatedly. Thus began Natalia's imprisonment. This is what A21 aims to fight against, to abolish the injustice of human trafficking. My purpose today is to persuade you to volunteer for the A21 campaign and join them in fighting against modern-day slavery. As human trafficking is such a large issue, I've done extensive research on some of the facts that entails human trafficking, as well as some of the ways that the A21 campaign fights for the victims of human trafficking. We will be going over 4 main points. The first 3 points will be the needs of the A21 campaign, which include the 3 Ps, which are prevention, protection, and prosecution, as well as the solution that the A21 campaign offers to fight against human trafficking. First, we will look at prevention. There are 27 million slaves right now in our world, according to the U.S. Department of State. That is a huge number. So how do we prevent human trafficking from occurring? Well, we educate ourselves and our friends and our families. We learn the facts, we do our research, and we know what's out there. Also, we demand no demand. We stop buying products that are made by slaves. This means that once we stop purchasing those products, there will be a decrease in demand and a decrease in slaves that are making these products. To know what products you have at your home, visit slaveryfootprint.org, and you'll find out how many products you have in your house that have been made by slaves. Also, we see that the human trafficking has made $32 billion in profits. This is a huge number, and we need to be sure that we are not contributing to this. My second point is protection. The A21 campaign strives to protect those victims that have been rescued or have escaped from their traffickers. 1% of victims ever caught are rescued. Natalia was one of those 1%. A21 keeps these victims safe by building shelters and transition homes. This does cost money, so by supporting A21, you give them opportunities to build more homes and shelters for their victims. We also see that A21 is equipping the victims to go back into their community with skill sets and also restoring and healing them. For the last need of the A21 campaign, we look at prosecution. The A21 campaign strives to get justice for the victims that have been trafficked. 1 in 100,000 European traffickers have been convicted. That is not acceptable. So the A21 campaign has lawyers that have fought for people like Natalia, and her traffickers are now sentenced to 15.5 years of prison with a fine. They also continue counsel for victims, legal counsel for victims, and during criminal proceedings they will continue to help them. So now that we know what are the needs of the A21 campaign, what do we do about it? Well, human trafficking can be overwhelming, especially when we look at the numbers. 27 million, that is huge. But what we need to do, what A21 campaign strives to do, is to look at the one, to pursue the one, to try and rescue the one. These are the efforts of the A21 campaign. This is the fastest growing crime in the world. To consider one life potentially impacted by coming alongside the A21 campaign, we downsize the problem and we're able to face it. So how do we do that? Well, we do our research. We know the numbers. We know how many people are out there who are slaves. We know the information, what our government is doing to protect those victims. Next, skip the Starbucks. Save that money once a week and donate it to an organization like A21 who's striving to help those victims of trafficking. Also, shout it out loud. Use Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Let your friends and family members know that this is happening in our world. And it is happening more than it ever has before. Also, be a creative genius. get artistic with it, or use your writing skills, write a blog, and let people know what is going on in the world today. So what will happen if we decide not to act? Well, the number of slaves will continue to increase, as well as the amount of people without a voice. We will also see more stories like Natalia. However, there will not be as much hope for her and others like her, to be restored and healed, and also to be rescued, because those people are not out there fighting against human trafficking. But what if we do decide to act? Well, the number of modern-day slaves will go down, even though we are fighting for that one. When Natalia was rescued, the number of modern-day slaves did decrease. We also give victims a chance to recover and heal from the drama of being trafficked, as well as finding their own voice again. So we have gone over 4 main points: the 3 P's: prevention, protection, and prosecution, and what are the needs of the A21 campaign in those areas. We have also found the solutions, fighting for the one. So today I've gone over why you should be a volunteer for the A21 campaign. I hope that you will do the research, skip the Starbucks, shout it out loud, and be a creative genius in order to join the fight against human trafficking. So go to the A21 campaign website and figure out how you can help. Thank you.